Hi there, and welcome to Bloomberg Sports Ballpark Figures. I'm Julie Alexandria, here with fantasy analyst Rob Shaw. And today we are going to be talking about the Hall of Fame. It is our annual Hall of Fame show. So we're going to be talking about the guys who are definite shoo-ins, the guys who are a little questionable, and the ones who are definitely on the road to the Hall of Fame. So we have a big show here. Let's start off. He's just Manny being Manny. He's definitely going Manny Ramirez.
Yeah, so Manny Ramirez, you look at his credentials, 12 All-Star games, 9 Silver Slugger awards, and performance-enhancing drugs. So that on that side, it makes you wonder whether or not he ever will make the Hall of Fame. My guess is he will not make the Hall of Fame. I'm surprised that Major League teams such as the A's have given him chances, at least getting into the minor league system. But Manny Ramirez, in my opinion, despite the numbers being Hall of Fame worthy, isn't going to find enshrinement at Cooperstown.
Okay, so just to clarify, we're talking about definitely not going to the Hall of Fame.
No, that
here?
was definitely supposed to. So number-wise, he should be in the Hall of Fame, but based on the PEDs, I don't think so.
All right, well, based on present performance, I'm not too sure. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, you know, he's getting back. He had a big home run last night. You look at what he's done, and this thing about Pujols, no matter what he does from here on out, he already earned the honor of getting into the Hall of Fame with the numbers he's already put up. 9-time All-Star, 6 Silver Sluggers, 2 Gold Glove Awards, which means this isn't just offense. 455 home runs, or 56, I guess, now, and an average over 320 for his career. So Albert Pujols, yes, he might struggle a little bit in this new contract, but he already is destined for Cooperstown.
Ichiro.
Ichiro also, another guy who's struggling a bit this year and struggled a bit last year, too. And even though he had a very late start to his career in Major League Baseball coming over from Japan, you look at the numbers already, 2,500-plus hits, and that's after starting his career at the age of 27, 432 stolen bases as well, a 320-plus batting average. He is a definite, reminds me a lot of Tony Gwynn.
And a current-day hero for a lot of kids, Derek Jeter, number 2 for the Yankees. Come on, this guy's an absolute shoo-in.
He is a shoo-in. Over 3,000 hits, that already gets him in there. 12-time All-Star, 5 World Series wins. I think that's going to be the legacy that we remember from Jeter, not just one of the greats, but also a big-time winner, almost like a Cal Ripken caliber player, but also with all those titles. So Derek Jeter is a no-brainer.
This guy would have been number 1 on my list, Chipper Jones, one of my favorite players ever.
Yeah, not on Mets fans' list, but I think we are going to still applaud him when he has this last game at Citi Field. Chipper Jones, 2 Silver Slugger Awards, over 2,650 hits, over 450 home runs. And I know you look at those numbers and they don't hit some of the big marks like 3,000 hits or 500 home runs, but he, too, is a winner. And also the longevity of his career, in my opinion, longer and better than Dale Murphy, so he will be a Hall of Famer.
I just got chills when you talked about Chipper Jones' last game at Citi Field, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's coming.
It's a little emotional.
It is.
A guy who I'm not emotional about, though, A-Rod.
All right, so here we go again. PED. I mean, you know, are we going to have to put an asterisk next to his name? That's going to be the ultimate question, because you could easily argue that, you know, after the steroid era ended, he still put up Hall of Fame-worthy numbers and won an MVP award. But, you know, the damage might have already been done for some. As far as numbers, we're talking like top 3 all-time greats. It's incredible the numbers that he's put up. Over 640 home runs by the time the season's through, probably 650 plus. He's only 76 RBIs away from 2,000 for his career. Yeah, he's put up all the numbers. Just a question of whether or not he's going to get in, considering the steroid use.
What about considering his attitude?
You can't hold that against him. Ty Cobb wasn't exactly a nice guy. Trust me, I know.
All right,
I met him.
Moving on to Jim Thome.
One of the sweetest guys, on the other hand, and he's got the numbers of 600-plus home runs. You feel bad a little bit that he played during the steroid era, assuming, of course, he's clean, and there's no reason to assume he's not clean. But unfortunately, he was with all these guys who put up the gaudy statistics with a little help from their friends. On the other hand, Thome seemed to have done it the right way, and not just a home run guy, also a walk guy. I mean, over 1,700 walks. That ranks 10th all-time. So Jim Thome certainly got the job done, and look at him, still extending his career, and not just because of the DH. He's actually in the NL right now. Good for Jim Thome.
And last but not least, Mariano Rivera. I'm still praying for a healthy return from this guy.
Yeah.
I absolutely love him.
Yeah, again, another guy who's already in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he deserves it. He is the greatest closer of all time. He is one of the most clutch performers, and the sad thing about him up to this injury, he was actually peaking. The last couple of years have been as good as any. So, yeah, Mariano Rivera, already a Hall of Famer in my mind.
Absolutely, I agree with that. All right, now let's talk about some guys who are a little questionable.
Yes.
We've brought him up a few times on the show. Jamie Moyer.
Yeah, Jamie Moyer, 269 wins. As of now, definitely not a Hall of Famer, but the fact that he's trying to come back right now with the Baltimore Orioles, and they expect him to be called up shortly, that means that he will have a shot at finishing this season off. He could get, 7, 8 wins maybe for the rest of this year. Then suddenly he's in striking distance if he could somehow keep on pitching into his 50s. So Jamie Moyer, definitely a surprise. It's more about longevity than everything, but let's face it, he was one of the better pitchers in baseball back in his days with the Mariners.
Good to see him back.
Yeah.
And Johnny Damon, Cro-Magnon Man.
He's going to need hits. He needs 254 more hits for 3,000. He's not a home run guy. He had some stolen bases, but not necessarily a stolen base guy either. If he gets 54 more hits, 17 more home runs, check this out. He would join Ricky Henderson, Barry Bonds, Craig Biggio as the only players in Major League history with 2,800 hits, 250 home runs, and 400 stolen bases. So the numbers have been there. It's just a matter of trying to extend that career a couple more seasons.
Scott Rowland.
Rowland's a surprise on this list. You know, considering all the injuries, he's still one of 3 third basemen to hit above 280 and 300 or more home runs. That joins Chipper Jones, Aramis Ramirez. Only 4 third basemen have 8,000 or more plate appearances and no PS over 850. Chipper, Schmidt, Eddie Matthews, and Rowland. Now it's just a matter of, again, trying to stay healthy for a couple more years. That's a real challenge for him.
And let's talk about Todd Helton. Why is he on the list?
He's on the list because of what he's done at Coors. At Coors Field, you multiply his numbers by 2. He's got the career of Lou Gehrig. You multiply his road numbers by 2. You have John Olerud, who, by the way, was a very good player, too. You mix them together. I'll tell you, at first I was kind of against it because of the whole Coors effect, but I'm starting to buy into it. I think Helton probably is a Hall of Famer.
And you have a little funny rhyme about this one. Vlad Guerrero. What is it?
Vladdy Dotty, we like to potty. Yeah.
Potty.
Vladdy Guerrero has certainly put up some numbers, and he's trying to make it back into the big leagues. In my opinion, he already is a Hall of Famer, one of the premier hitters of his era, and also he had that rifle in right field. Now he's trying to come back with the Toronto Blue Jays. They could probably use his presence at DH. So Vladimir Guerrero, who's 51 home runs away from 500, could actually still add on to those numbers.
All right, and Lance Berkman.
Lance Berkman's a surprise to make this list. Again, this is one of those guys who's put up some solid numbers. Whether or not he's Hall of Fame worthy, in my opinion, no. He hasn't had enough excellent season. But you look at what he did last year with the Cardinals, and if he could come back from this knee injury now, maybe he could surprise us, but my guess is no.
Tim Hudson, last but not least here on our questionables list.
Yeah, and we should do the other one in a separate show. I'm starting to realize that our audience is getting a little tired. So we'll do 2 segments. But as far as the last one, who somehow seems to be on his way right now, you look at Hudson's numbers, and he's one of the 10 lowest ERAs of any pitcher with at least 2,000 innings pitched since 1990. And the names on this list, by the way, you got like Pedro, Maddox, Clemens, Oswald, Johnson, Holliday, Brown, Smoltz, and Hudson and Schilling. So he's been fantastic, tied for 4th amongst most wins for active pitchers. So Tim Hudson has certainly had a career to be proud of. If he could try to extend it a couple more years, then I would say maybe he is worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. His numbers are actually very similar to Roy Halladay right now.
All right, so should we make the audience wait for our next segment?
Yeah, let's do a second show. Let's do a second show.
Okay, we're going to have to do another show, so you guys are going to have to tune back in to see who is going to be on the road to the Hall of Fame. You don't want to miss that list. Thank you so much, Rob Shaw.
Absolutely.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah, we have quite a bit coming.
Yeah. All right, and there's more to come right here on Bloomberg Sports Ballpark Figures. I'm Julie Alexandria. Thanks for watching.